Hello students, today we're going to have some fun creating some imaginary bugs. Often they're called Pueblo bugs because they have a design connection to Native American art. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to pick a line. It could be straight, broken, dotted, curvy, zigzag, looping, or wavy. And I'd like you to pick a line that will work for the edge of your paper to create a border. So I'm going to take mine. I think I'm just gonna do a broken line. A broken or a dotted line works pretty well to be able to keep it close to the edge. So I'm just gonna create a broken line that's gonna go around the sides of my paper. If you need to turn the paper, you can. I don't want it to not fit on the video, so that's why I'm not gonna turn it, but often that would work best to be able to turn your paper to keep your line close to the edge. So please do a border first. Once you have your border done, then you're gonna design your bug. I made one of these for each of you to help you with some shapes. So there are 4 shapes here together. You can just take the paper clip off, and there's a rectangle, there's a triangle, there's an oval, and a square. And I would like you to pick 3 of them that you like, and we'll create 3 parts for your bug. So here you can see that I can do it a lot of different ways. Like I could have a triangle for the head. Maybe I could do a rectangle for the second part. And then I'm gonna do maybe a oval or something for the third part. You could flip it around and do something like, maybe this is gonna be a square instead, or maybe I'm gonna do an oval for the head and do a triangle and then a rectangle. So you can decide whatever you want. I think I'm gonna go for a triangle shaped head, an oval shape for this middle part. And then the reason I'm going to do a rectangle here is I want to show an idea that some students have done who kind of want to change it to be something that's a little bit different. So here I'm going to try to make sure it's in the middle. One of the things I'm going to be practicing today is symmetry. So if I have 3 fingers on that side, I'm going to have 3 fingers on this side. I wouldn't want to move it over and have 2 on this side and 4 on that side. So try to keep it in the middle. That's going to be the best way to at least start. And then I can take these shapes down just a little bit so I can trace this easily. So here I'm going to trace this. And then once I have this traced, then I can take this one off and line this up. Make sure, also measuring it, for me it's about 4 fingers on each side to make sure it's in the center. Trace around this, and then I can do this last part. And for some students, like I'm just going to move this up. I'm not going to trace this top part. I'm going to start where the oval line is. I've had some students where they want to change this shape to something else. So using a little bit more imagination, and that's fine. So like if you wanted to change this shape and make it like more pointy, for example, that would be totally fine if you want to modify and change these shapes. So once I have these shapes done, you can just take them, put them back together, and just set the paper clip on top. I'll come by and pick them up. Please don't bend the paper clip. Now, the next thing I'm going to do for my bug is I'm going to design the head. So I think that probably starting with some eyes would be good. And if I put 1 on that side, I'm going to put 1 on this side because I'm practicing symmetry. Both sides are the same. So if I put a smaller one here, then I'm going to have a smaller one here. If I put a diagonal line here, then I would have a diagonal line here. So every time that I draw a line, I'm going to make sure the other side has the same thing. Often up here is where I would have the mouth. I might have some designs like some pinchers, and I would make them the same shape and the same size. Maybe I'm going to have some antennas, and I can think about any extra details that would be fun for my bug. Now, with these shapes here, I usually think it works well to put a smaller shape inside the bigger shape, and then we'll use some of the lines that we know to create pattern. So I might do zigzag, straight, zigzag, straight. Then, since this one has a smaller shape inside, if I do this one with a smaller shape inside, I might create an additional pattern. So maybe I'm gonna do shapes for this one. So this is kind of like a rectangle, and then an oval, and then a rectangle, and then an oval. So using line and shape and making both sides the same. And if you want to add things like maybe this guy's gonna have a stinger or something down here. Now my favorite part are making the legs. Instead of just doing sticks for the legs, I do want you to practice doing shapes. So here, I'm gonna do circle, rectangle, triangle. So then if I do that on this side, it's gonna be the same. Circle, same size, same shape, rectangle, triangle. And since this one is up, this one is also up. So if I have this one going out, circle, rectangle, triangle, since that one's out, this one is also gonna be out. So circle, rectangle, triangle. And then I would probably do 6 or 8 legs. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do 6. So this is gonna be number 5. So I'm gonna do circle, rectangle. I'm gonna do something different on this one. Circle, and I'm gonna do one more just to make it longer, triangle. So then this one is pointed down, so this one's also gonna be down. So it's gonna be circle, rectangle, circle, triangle, okay? Once you have your bug designed, then it would be good if you are able to trace it out with marker. Now I'm not gonna do all the marker right now because I want you guys to have more work time, but I would like you to trace out any of the pencil line that you have. So let's just pretend that I went around and did the whole border. After I do all of that, then I'm going to trace out my whole bug. And when that's all done, you can start adding color. Now I don't want you to color the whole thing today. I'm gonna do a lot of examples for this next time. I'll do a tiny bit of coloring on it so that you at least get an idea of what we're working towards. So we're gonna just pretend that I'm done tracing it with marker. I'll do just this shape so I can do a little bit of a coloring example for here for pattern making. But so let's just pretend that I did the body and the legs and the rest of the border. When that's done, if you have any pencil that you can still see, please just erase it, clean up your paper. And then when if you get done and you're ready to color it, I would like you to make sure that both sides are the same. So here, if I do this shape, blue, you can see that I'm going around the edges. I'm going to shade it in a little more lightly. If this is blue, this one is also going to be blue. That practices symmetry, good math connection, both sides are the same, okay? Then, if I were to do this part of the eye white, I know it's a little hard to see on the yellow paper, but it's gonna stand out on my darker colors. So if I were to do this eye white, this one is also gonna be white. And then if I do this circle black, this one's also gonna be black, okay? Now, we are gonna have a ton more time to color, so there's no need to rush. This is just one big shape, so this whole section here, you can see this corner here is green, so then this corner would be green. It's really just this whole triangle shape. Please go around the eyes. Don't color on them because they're a new shape, so make them a new color. I'm gonna go around all of this. And then once I press the edges on hard, I'll shade it in a little more lightly to keep it nice and neat. So the last part I want to show you, most of this will happen next time, but if you get the head all colored carefully, then you could start, so let's just pretend that I did these other parts. If you get this all colored carefully, you could start working on a pattern. So here I might have something like white. Well, I gotta erase this because this has some pencil marks, but if I did a pattern, I wouldn't just scribble right over this. I would make sure to go around that marker line so I'm not getting crayon on it. And then I would go around this and I would fill that in carefully. Then I would pick my next color and I would go around this carefully. Just like when we did your pot designs, you guys did a super job outlining this stuff and then filling it in a little bit more carefully. And since it's gonna be a pattern, I've got white, blue. What comes next? White. So I would outline this, go around my zigzag, and make this section white, and then blue, and then white. So please practice pattern, repeating things, and practice symmetry, making both sides the same. Now this one's done on brown paper. This one's and the idea that I was going with, but you can see that it does have pattern, white, blue, white, blue. This one is like pink, orange, blue, pink, orange, blue, pink, orange. So you can also see the legs, both sides are the same. So this is blue, green, or green, blue, green. This one is green, blue, green, both sides are the same. So let's have fun designing these bugs today.